Now let's discuss training and validation in PyTorch. And just to note, there doesn't seem to be any consensus in the PyTorch forums on the best way to do this, but there are some GitHub repositories available that emulate training and validation in scikit-learn. So we'll start with our synthetic data, and we'll have some outliers. Create a dataset object. We'll have a linear function, and we add our outliers. And just to note, technically, this should be done randomly, but as we're just trying to demonstrate a process, we're doing this deterministically. We'll create a training data object and a validation data object. We'll plot out our data, and we'll create a linear regression custom module. We'll create a criterion function, a data loader object. We'll create a list of different learning rates that we will use. We'll also create a torch tensor that will store our validation cost or total loss. And we'll do the same for our test total loss or cost. We'll also create an empty list that will contain our models. We'll represent this with a table where the first row represents the different learning rates. Here's our code. As we covered the training process multiple times, let's just represent it with this training block and minimize it to clarify everything. Let's use our table. Now the first loop actually will iterate to the different learning rates. It will transfer the list learning rates to the variable learning rate for every iteration of the loop. We'll create a new model and a new optimizer object, and we'll assign it a new learning rate for every iteration. After each training procedure, we'll calculate the total loss or cost on the training data, which corresponds to this row, and the test data, which corresponds to this row. And then we'll store every model, which corresponds to this row. Plot out our data, and we can actually test out every model that we saved in the list. The list models, for every iteration of the loop, will assign our object to the list models, and then we can make a prediction as follows. And that's it.